online hysteroscopy course with me once again, Dr. Jyoti Yadav at the Medicity platform. So today's topic for discussion is distension media, the type and selection of distension media in hysteroscopy, what are the complications related to the distension media, how to maintain it, what is the sterilization protocols, how to have a safe instruments, and all about the safety of whatever we are using in hysteroscopy. So distension media, their type and selection, which one to choose during hysteroscopy will all depend on it is a gaseous distension media or liquid distension media. We have different choices in the liquid distension media. The gaseous distension media remains CO2 as the choice, and it is preferably used during the office hysteroscopy. When I talk about the liquid distension media, there are like different type of distension medias which are available depending upon the osmolality and availability. We can have n number of distension media. Electrolytic distension media, if I talk on, that is normal saline and ringer lactate. Normal saline is one of the most commonly used distension media, and it is the cheapest distension media which is available in the hospital setting with all of us. It is easily available in the operation theatres as well as in the hospitals as well as in the OPD. So it is the most commonly used distension media. If I say the non-electrolytic distension media is, example is Hiscon, which is 32% of the dextran. Glycine, sorbitol and mannitol. They have high viscosity and Hiscon is one of them. The low viscosity distension media, if I say, they are normal saline, ringer lactate, 5% dextrose, 10% dextrose, 4% and 6% dextran solutions even. The non-ionic ones are 1.5% of glycine, sorbitol, 5% mannitol, and a combination of sorbitol and mannitol can be used as distension media. So why we need a distension media? Basically, the distension media is for the clear visibility of the uterine cavity. It has a feature that it gives a clear vision in the uterine cavity, whatever we want to see. Without the distension media, without a complete distension of the uterine cavity, we will not be able to perform hysteroscopy and have a clear vision. So it is basically, if I talk about the uterine cavity, so it provides a potential space to us. And there is a proper pressure which is there in the uterine cavity. It can be 30 mm of the mercury to separate the uterine walls. 45 to 80 mm mercury, there is it expands the uterine cavity, and the pressure rarely goes to 100 mm of mercury. Now the first distension media, if I talk about the gaseous distension media, is carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide as such has its own advantages and disadvantages. If I say what are the advantages of having a gaseous distension media, so CO2 is the only gaseous media which is available and which is used actually, and it yields a clear image of the endometrial cavity. It is easy to infuse and it does not clog against essential instrumentations even. Inexpensive, readily available, well tolerated and rapidly absorbed and released. So it is best suited for office diagnostic hysteroscopy where we want to perform the procedures fast and there is less time that the surgeon is operating. The disadvantages of using the CO2 as distension media might produce bubbles which sometimes becomes cumbersome and may obscure the view, and as CO2 is invisible, there is a leak in the system may not be noticed for some time, so that might create a problem, and a specific machine is required for electronic calibration of the CO2 flow rate and to maintain a proper pressure which we need in the uterine cavity. So finally, the use of a laser has become cumbersome owing to some smoke or fumes inside. So if we take CO2 as the distension media, there has to be a proper flow rate and there has to be a proper pressure. So looking at this, there is a proper mention of the pressure as well as the flow rate which we are using. So the flow rate, if I say the ideal flow rate comes out to be somewhere between